We don't always know who they're going to be, but we know at some point during the Major League season, there are going to be some young pitchers and some unexpected names that come through and deliver. Here are 5 pitchers that could break out for fantasy baseball. I have to start with my favorite pitching prospect for this year, number 1 prospect in the Giants system, and that's Kyle Harrison. We saw Harrison last year in his second Major League start strike out 11 Cincinnati Reds, and in his last turn of the season, he went 5 scoreless against the Dodgers. And like most young pitchers, there were some ups and some downs, got hit hard in between. This could definitely be a year where he puts it all together and sticks in the rotation. Right now, he's slotted to be the only lefty for the Giants in that starting rotation. And this is a veteran team that includes the top of that rotation. They need some youth. He's going to be out there at least every 5 days. And he's a guy we've seen can go deep into games and can generate whiffs. It also helps that he plays at Oracle Park, which was 26th in park factor and 26th in home run factor over the last 3 years. Is he going to be the next Mad Bum? I don't know about that, but I feel pretty good about his chances to contribute in fantasy this season. He should get about 150 plus innings. They'll stretch him out. They'll use him plenty. He's in a good situation. He should help you across the board. Now, the Detroit Tigers have had plenty of young pitchers come through their system the last couple of years with a ton of promise, and they all seem to get hurt or disappoint. Let's see if it's any different for Sawyer Gipson-Long. I will admit, first of all, he's not a guy that was really on my radar much. It was a very late season addition to the Major League roster, and he was pretty solid. In 4 starts, he lasted 20 innings, 26 strikeouts, and only 8 walks. This is a big, powerful 6'4" right-handed pitcher. Mostly throws a fastball, also has a slider and a changeup. He's built for the rotation, and he's definitely going to have a chance. Very similar to what I just talked about the Harrison in San Francisco, a more favorable pitcher environment. Not as friendly as it had been in years past, but still, this is not anywhere where he's going to get in danger of giving up a ton of home runs. I also have to admit that in Detroit, I do like Jackson Jobe better than Gipson-Long as a prospect, but I feel like Gipson-Long is made for the rotation right here, right now. Jobe, we'll have to wait and see. Health also an issue, as I mentioned. So as of right now, if I'm going to take a chance on a guy in the Tigers rotation late in my draft, it's going to be Gipson-Long. Now, you want to get a little bit deeper. Here's a potential breakout. We know with the Yankees, there's some change in that rotation. Luis Severino is out of New York, and, well, he's actually still in New York, just for a different team. And they gave up a couple of their top young pitchers in order to get Juan Soto. So no Drew Thorpe, no more Michael King. There is a rotation spot open. Now, there are a couple candidates here. I'll just quickly go through. Luis Gil has some talent. This is a player, though, coming back from surgery and didn't have a lot of experience last season playing. He's got a strong fastball, but I think he might be meant for the bullpen. Will Warren, also a very interesting name, but he hasn't yet sniffed the majors, and he's not on the 40-man roster as of now. So I'm going to look first at Yoendrys Gomez. Now, Gomez is interesting, and I think he does have the makeup to be a starter. He has a 5-pitch mix, which includes a cutter as well as his fastball. He's got good stuff, not elite velocity, averages about 94, 95, but hey, that'll play, especially when you have a lot of secondary pitches to throw out there. The leash is never long for Yankees pitchers, especially young players like this, but Gomez definitely will have an opportunity to crack the rotation this spring. Now, until or unless that happens, I'm not going to really have him on my radar in a typical redraft league, but I will say if you're doing a best ball draft and hold type of league, a deep draft in the offseason, he's definitely an interesting name for the later rounds. What about the next big bullpen breakout? Guy who could emerge as a closer or at the very least part of a committee, get you some saves? If you follow the playoffs closely, or if you're just a Phillies fan, then you probably already know about Orion Kerkering. Interesting name, interesting guy, but man, he already looks like he's got the makeup of a 9th inning pitcher because he is only 22, but he had nerves of steel in the postseason. Made 7 appearances in the playoffs. Hey, he held his own. He's got a nasty slider, definitely a pitch that can generate a lot of whiffs. The K upside is there. He already looks like he belongs in the late innings. The question is, Philly, they don't really just go with one guy. They have so many good bullpen arms. So is he going to be part of a committee? Kimbrel maybe still in the mix. Jose Alvarado is so good. Time will tell. But at the very least, you got to monitor. This guy could be in the mix, get you a handful of saves. At the very least, can help your ratios. I will say it again and again, you don't have to just go for relievers who are the guy, the closer at the moment, because closers change all the time. And sometimes it's nice to have a relief pitcher who just helps your ratios and your K rate. That brings me to another potential closer, at the very least, late inning arm you should be interested in, James McArthur of the Royals. In just 23 innings last year, racked up 4 saves and a win. Now that came with a 4.63 ERA, not too great, but if you look under the hood, he actually posted a 2.95 expected ERA, so there was some underachievement here. Not your typical, what you would expect, fireman here. Only averages 93 on the fastball, and he really doesn't even throw the fastball that much. Only 2% of the time. This is a sinker-first ground ball pitcher, and there's nothing wrong with that. He still got strikeouts, 23 Ks in those 23 innings. So it's mainly sinker, but he also plays a curveball and a slider. It's working. He's getting hitters off balance, and I kind of like that he's not just relying on his heat. McArthur has not been some big-name prospect. He's not a young guy like Kerkering, but he's been effective so far in limited time. The Royals are a team that have an opening potentially for the late innings there. So McArthur is definitely someone to keep an eye on, and I don't mind taking him with a late draft pick. Those are some of my favorite potential breakouts among pitchers early in the 2024 season. If you didn't catch the hitter version of this already, you can check it out right here.